Hello, everyone. Welcome to Back Me channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. When Lucy and Felicia decide to visit Pine Valley to look into Martin, they overhear Brook Lynn and Tracy having a suspicious conversation. When Liz enters the hospital locker room, Finn is reading Parasites and Worms in Humans and eating a sandwich. He inquires about the status of the job. She claims that Epiphany made it appear so simple. She shifts the conversation to Violet and their last night's date. After speaking to his daughter, Finn praises her for agreeing to accompany Violet, but makes a commitment that they won't be having any more romantic dates in the future. Violet is a determined young girl, so he can't guarantee she won't attempt it again. Liz acknowledges that going on another date might not be the worst idea, and that spending time as a family might be beneficial. Finn speculates that Violet might give up on attempting to get them back together as she is preoccupied with her cousins. Because that's what we want, right? Liz continues. Finn acknowledges that his goals are a little more intricate. When Terry abruptly enters and interrupts, Liz feels like they should speak. According to Finn, he needs to visit a patient before meeting Violet for a tea party. He promises Liz that they will meet and make a strategy. After interrupting something, Terry realizes that Finn has left and asks Liz if she would like to talk. Liz acknowledges going on a date with Finn. She claims they had a good time and there was a romantic moment when he offered her flowers, which she assumes have no personal significance for him. Terry advises, rather than assuming, that she inquire about Finn's emotions. Liz asserts that she cannot, and that she does not think Finn can trust her in light of what occurred with her parents. She doesn't know that, Terry says, so she needs to find out. Terry says she needs to express her feelings to Finn, even if she is paging and must leave. As suggested by Molly, Alexis, Sam, and Christina wait for her to meet them at the nail salon. Look out, the Davis girls are on the loose, Molly declares as she enters the room carrying a bottle of champagne. What are they celebrating? And does she have any news? Queries Alexis. If her mother inquires about a doctor's visit, Molly advises her to refrain. She prefers to chat about Scout and Drew instead of that. She is not interested in discussing it. She's taking it hard, according to Sam. The women feel Molly already has too much on her plate and decline her offer to accompany them to the movies. Molly wants to concentrate on the important things because she is aware of when she tends to avoid her personal life. The purpose of the evening, according to Molly, is for them to get their nails done before going to the Savoy. Normally, Christina says, she'd be all for it, but Molly is obviously trying to escape something. Angry, Molly declares that she is tired of hearing about this and simply wants to go out and have a good time. Although Christina claims they don't want to pressure her, holding things within doesn't work. Her eggs are not viable, Molly cries, and she will never be able to have a biological kid. Alexis reprimands Christina for pressing as she excuses herself to take a moment. After coming back, Molly apologizes for leaving abruptly. Christina expresses regret for pressuring her to speak. Sam advises Molly to concentrate on creating a plan, such as an adoption or surrogacy, now that the information is out. At this moment, Molly is unable to confront it since she feels on the verge of breaking. Molly insisted they'd have fun at the Savoy despite Alex's protests, that they didn't need to go out tonight. The Davis women consent to going. More, divorced by her spouse, a former General Hospital star. Marshall wonders if he'll see Curtis at the Savoy after deciding that it's time to go home. Curtis anticipates a frenzied crowd and considers camped out in the back. If they can't even be in the same room together, Marshall claims he and Portia will never be able to reconcile. The men inquire as to what is wrong when TJ enters the room looking dejected. According to TJ, Molly is meant to meet him here when she is out with her sister. He updates them on Molly's infertility problems, but she ignores him. Probably needs some time to process, not to block him away. Marshall and Curtis predict Molly will come to grasp that TJ told her they have options for starting a family. TJ explains this to them. The main problem, according to TJ, is that she isn't acting like herself. She gave up a significant case and called in ill to work this morning. She is grieving, says Curtis, and time will heal all wounds. TJ keeps worrying that this will cause them to fall apart. Curtis is aware that infertility may destroy relationships, but he and Molly are different than other couples. Marshall and Curtis maintain that Molly will change her mind. Curtis wishes he had a simple response for TJ as Marshall leaves. TJ is aware that he and Molly have options, but he is unsure about Molly's current desire for children. TJ acknowledges he still desires a child, but he is concerned Molly may decide it is not worthwhile. What does it mean for them as a marriage if Molly says she doesn't want children when Curtis asks if he does? More, the best soap opera quotes from last week. At the deception office, Lucy chastises Maxie for being irresponsible with her work computer and password. Maxie responds by telling Lucy that she has been too busy living her life with Martin to take up the slack Lucy has created. When Brook Lynn enters, she admits that she downloaded the data. She didn't comprehend that stealing the files wasn't a huge problem, and by starting a social media campaign for the product, she hoped to establish her worth and assist. Lucy inquires as to whether BLQ is aware of the potential consequences if their rival obtained those files. They could bid farewell to their cash cow. Now that Brook Lynn is aware of the seriousness of her error, Maxie defends Brook Lynn, saying she was only trying to perform her job, and that no one had ever stressed the value of confidentiality to her. Brook Lynn apologizes once more, and Lucy reminds them that their attorney promised them only the executives could access the information, so Lucy requests the return of the files. They are on a flash drive, and Brook Lynn says she took them home. She is yelled at by Lucy to go get it before she excuses herself to grab some candies. After Brook Lynn has left, Lucy comes back with her bag of candies and queries who hired BLQ back. Lucy disputes Maxie's claim that she did. It doesn't matter, according to Maxie. They will receive their files back. Maxie is reassured by Felicia, who suddenly shows up to see Lucy, that Mac is still with James and that everything is great. Maxie questions the need for Lucy to see her mother. Lucy explains that she invited Felicia to discuss a deeply intimate, sensual gift for her and Martin. Maxie recognizes the cue and withdraws. More. Gladys has put herself in a difficult situation. Lucy mentions once more every time she brings up the deceptor. Martin acts strangely. She inquires as to Felicia's discovery. Felicia reveals that a bank in Pine Valley has been sending Martin deposits of $50,000 per month for the past 3 months. Lucy is concerned that this might be against the law because she is aware that Marty does not possess a Pennsylvania law license. Felicia explains that in her experience, money from criminal activities doesn't go via banks. What else could it be, Lucy thinks, if it's not something illegal, and it's not an affair given that Martin is receiving the payments? If she continues to dig, Felicia warns that their relationship may end even if she and Martin are still together. Lucy still feels it and needs to be aware. Felicia claims that this calls for her to visit Pine Valley in order to identify the sender of the funds. Tracy wants to confront Martin at the Metro Court pool because she believes that a man of his stature needs more than Lucy to keep him busy. Since Martin claims to love Lucy, I must decline your offer. This is about business, not romance, Tracy chuckles. Tracy welcomes Martin and explains that because ELQ's CEO Valentin and second in command Ned are out of commission, he is the next apparent candidate to lead the family business. He emphasizes that he is a lawyer, not an entrepreneur. Consider this to be defending the interests of his client as she is aware of his power of attorney. Martin thinks about it and agrees. Tracy welcomes him on board and immediately has a task to complete. She says that she wants him to attend as her distinguished guest at the Quartermain fundraising picnic the following week. He feels honored. Tracy boasts that he can bring Lucy and that it is the social event of the year. Brook Lynn hurries over to her grandmother to say. Suddenly, Violet and Finn walk in. Violet wanted to have a Shirley Temple before supper, according to Finn. Since Violet is unable to use her father's phone due to what happened with Aunt Elizabeth, Violet claims she needs assistance placing her order. Tracy sends BLQ to the bar to help Violet acquire that drink after picking up on the clue. Tracy infers from his expression when Violet mentioned Elizabeth that there is a backstory. Finn informs her that Violet made up a date for them and is attempting to reunite them. Tracy speculates that possibly his astute daughter has seen that he still has affections for Liz. Finn is unable to hide his continued love for Liz. Tracy asks whether he wants Violet to lose her aunt now that she has lost her mother and advises him to squelch those sentiments because they may go back in time with one another. Martin and Brook Lynn cross paths at the bar. He informs her that Tracy has been invited to her family's picnic and praises Tracy for having astute business judgment. Brook Lynn cautions him to be vigilant since her grandmother may be opportunistic. Finn and Tracy receive a visit from Violet and Brook Lynn, and the Quartermain women leave. Although Violet is told by Finn that it is time for dinner, her attention is on how much she wants to meet Aunt Elizabeth. In the meantime, BLQ informs Tracy of what transpired and states that she needs the flash drive returned. Tracy gives it to her in front of Sasha. When Martin calls, Lucy is still with Felicia back at the deception offices. She receives the information from him regarding Tracy's invitation. Due to a trip she needs to take for deception, Lucy says she might not be able to attend. Sunny and Dante have dinnered in the upcoming episode of General Hospital, but Sunny thinks the dinner is being held under false pretenses. Perhaps TG should heed his own counsel, Curtis advises. Liz is questioned by Portia if it really is Violet's heart that she fears crumbling. Trina hears Anna tell her that Valentin shouldn't have troubled her about that. Christina informs Alexis that she believes she can succeed in this. Tracy is asked by Brook Lynn how long she intends to hold this over her head.